Hey, this video is about how to kill silverfish the first time and for good. Not a popular topic with a lot of people, I'm sure. I'm going to tell you what I went through, what I did that worked, and the things that didn't work. Before I go on, I'm making another YouTube channel, as I said in a couple other videos. So I'm making it right now. I'm editing videos and I'm making videos, and they're going to be the channel is called Battles and Heroes. So I'm just making videos with like World War II heroes or battles of any kind. A lot of them will be World War II. So I'm doing an editing, I'm using an editing software, and what I'm trying to do is make them professional, like as professional as they can be, so I can get subs. So I'm going to leave my link for it in the description. And the channel, I already have the other channel. It's been there for a while. There's like 20 some subscribers, and please go there and subscribe if you want to see the videos. I haven't put one there yet. There's an old one, but that's not a professional video. So I'll leave that link. So I've lived here for a number of years, and so I live in an apartment here, and for 3.5 years, every once in a while, so it's normal to have silverfish come once in a while to see it, when you lift your rug up or something like that, or you might see the odd one. And so that's the way it was. And from what I heard in here, there's other people in here in my building who have had aeration done and stuff like that. I didn't want to get that done, so I'd see the odd one, but it never went past that. So what happened one day, this is how I see it, how I see it happen, but it may not be because of some other factors. But yeah, I went to flush my toilet one day, okay, and I flushed it, and the chain, it got stuck. It just got stuck. I'm like, holy cow, like, it's in the morning time, I'm in a lot of pain, like I can barely move, and this thing just keeps flooding. And but thank God it stopped. I was about to, I forgot in that moment how to stop it, but I was going to go back, take the thing off, but it stopped. There wasn't it flooded. My bathroom's not very big, but it flooded, like maybe about that much. I had to clean it up pretty quickly. It took a while, and that was that, right? I cleaned it up, and where the toilet is, there's it's not caulked, so there's a reason for caulking, there's a reason not caulking, because you need that flood water to be able to go somewhere, right, if it does flood. There's just kind of rudimentary counters, and the counters, like the bathroom counter, I later looked, because they start to infest my apartment. I noticed that there's like a crack big enough for them to come through there, and anyway, so they start coming through somewhere. I see, one day I see one, and the next day I see a couple, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm starting to see them all the time, multiple times per day. And so the only way I could do anything was by stepping on them. I didn't care. With my socks, I step on them right away because I want to kill those things. And so it was okay at the beginning, but like, I didn't know where they were coming through at first. It becomes very hard to tell. And they, once they make it out into your appliances and stuff like that, it's almost like game over. Give me 1 second. I have problems with my stomach. So the only way, like in the first 2 weeks, that I could do anything was by killing them with my feet or whatever I could, get them in. My apartment is clean, but it's like kind of cluttered. I have a lot of stuff that I use in here, and so once they got under my oven, and that's when you learn, like, holy cow, there's a lot of different spaces in your kitchen. And where I live here, there's a lot of cracks because they're not the best. Like, these aren't expensive. There's not caulking in between for the cracks and stuff like that. So they got under my dishwasher. I don't use my dishwasher here, but they got under my dishwasher, and I would see these things like peek their head out, literally, and that's the way it was. So I didn't know what to do. I don't want these, like, you turn off the lights at night, you come out to go to the bathroom or something like that, and then you see like 2 or 3 of them. It's not nice. They're extremely quick. They're called silverfish because they move like a fish and they're very quick. I would argue they're the worst probably to have. I don't know. I saw things about hissing cockroaches or something like that. But the good thing about them is that they actually help clean up your environment and they don't spread disease. I had to read a lot about them. So this is what I did so I started to search around, and what works for me, I never found it. Okay, so I had to learn this on my own. Actually, my dad said, why don't you try that? And it's an insecticide, okay, but it's safe. I'll tell you about it in a second. So what did I do at first? They said first to use the difference between diatomaceous earth. So diatomaceous earth, they're crystals, and they're crystals that have like sharp edges on them. Diatomaceous earth, people even eat that and drink that. I don't know if that's safe or not. People say it is, but supposedly it's just some stupid fad. Anyways, you can use it in all sorts of places for other things. But you don't inhale that whatever you do, because those little, pebbles or whatever, each one of those little pieces, like sand, have sharp sword edges. So the theory is when a silverfish or anything goes through it, they're small enough that it punctures their body, and they depend on moisture. And so they're supposed to dry out in a certain amount of time. So I bought the diatomaceous earth, I spread it around. I even saw them go through it. I'm like, every time they went through it, I'm like, checkmate, but they were not dying. I'm like, what's going on here? Eventually I had to start they never got into my cupboards, never gotten anything like that. And my manager offered for aeration, but I'm too sick. I don't want to leave my apartment and go anywhere else. I took off, like this tricky thing on the bottom of my stove, but I get it out and I look in the back. I'm like, holy cow, there's like a hole that goes to the back wall. I'm like, these things can come from anywhere. And so I went to the back. I took masking tape, and I taped all the holes to make sure nothing got through. Give me another second. That didn't work. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta, if these things, I think they said they don't nest. These things don't nest. but they procreate very quickly. And so I have a lot of like tape, you know, for shipping boxes and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I got a lot of tape. I'm just gonna go and put it along all the edges. I'm gonna starve these things out. These things can live for 2 years and come out anytime they want. These things can hide anywhere and come out anytime they want. They were on my counters. They were starting to go on my counters. I'm like, where are they coming from? So I duct taped everything, like I'm living in a bubble, like type thing. And so I did it for where I spotted them. It was quite clear that they were living underneath my you know, my counter, my oven, because of the heat and obviously the protection. So they went through that diatomaceous earth. I saw it happen 1,000 times. The next was borax, and so I don't know. There's like 2 types of borax, boric acid, and another, and I did, you know, I read the comparisons. They're like diatomaceous earth is the best, and so I didn't really get much of a chance with that because I came across the other thing. Before I came across the other thing, so I started to see where they were coming from. And remember, I said to you my toilet flooded, right? And so I wasn't used to seeing these things, except maybe once every 3 months or something like that. And then I could see they were coming from my bathroom. And but they were coming from a hole, just like a little tiny hole in the wall. And that's common for them to come up the pipes and do that. But I wondered if that flooding that day was because water damage is the reason they start moving in. That's what they thrive in. So so I wondered, and it was the bathroom. And they would come out, and they would, you know, thankfully they didn't go into my closet. I put a towel under there so they couldn't get in there. But they'd come out and make their way when I wasn't here on a walk or something, or when I was sleeping. So this is what I did next. They weren't easy to, they weren't hard to trap. So I trapped a number of them, and I put them in a shot glass. And I put the diatomaceous earth in there, and I did the boric. So I did that in the boric acid. It was 2 weeks. 2 weeks for the diatomaceous earth. I moved it around. I did all sorts of stuff. I could see him, you know, cleaning his legs. So when he's cleaning his legs, he's getting on them. And especially with the boric acid, that's what they have to do to get it on them. I'm telling you, the boric acid one, he didn't die at all. I killed him. And so what happened was, I'm like, you know, I knew that there was insecticide spray, and then my dad said to me, he said, he gave me, well, actually he bought me, it's called Ortho Home Defense Max, and if you ask me from everything I've read, the reason I didn't want to use it is because I have issues with respiration. You can tell, like I take pauses and stuff like that. And so I don't want to get anything in my lungs, right? And but from everything I read, and I called the company too, there's no issues. So okay. So this is it right here, and I'm going to tell you how it worked. Make sure you get this product. I'm not joking. I don't endorse anything. You know, I don't get anything out of it. So Orthomax Defense. I'm telling you, don't get your place aerated. I saw commercials, or not commercials, I saw other people's videos. They're like, you know, this is my office, this is where I work. I'm gonna have to, you can look for that video. Look up Silverfish and how to kill them, and you'll likely find it. The guy is, you know, so frustrated. He has to, he's going to tear down his entire office and I know how he feels. So the way you use this is, there's larger ones than this too, and the larger ones have like a handle on it, and actually those ones you can use in the home. You can just put your hand on it and it keeps spraying type, like a what are they called, their job their exterminators use. When it's your home, or if you live out in the country or whatever, or anywhere, you spray it around your home so they don't get in there in the first place. You put a ring around it. And I didn't think it would work like this, so you're supposed to spread it, keep it away from you at least, a couple feet. Keep your face away from it, spray it. It'll take an hour or two to settle in. Spray it. It says not to spray it on your counter, but I took a little bit and put it on the back where I never touch. I just kind of rub stuff in, but go around the edges, your baseboards, maybe about 6 inches or so wide. I guess you could put it up a bit too, but they tend to go along, along the wall. Do that, put it all around. And so what I noticed was, I'm like, is this gonna work? And so I left it be, and suddenly I started seeing like 1, 2, 3, like holy cow, man, these things are dying in this strip, like a strip like that wide. They're in it, and it gets their nervous system very, very quickly. And so they don't take it and go back into to where their buddies are. They come out and they die. And so you have to let them come out and die. They'll get stuck in it, and that's it. That's the whole thing. That's how easy it is. Would you rather would you rather get a narration done, or would you rather use this? Holy, this is totally worth it. So I told my my resident manager here, I showed her it, and she took a picture of it, because some people have problems in here. So it's unfortunate that it happened. Also, that the hole where it was coming from, I had to cover up with some caulking, and it was very hard to get back to where it was. Man, I went through 3 months of this. I was, I wanted to take care of this very quickly, and I did, and I had to go through a bunch of crap just to find out that this worked in very, very quickly. All you have to do is leave your room or turn off the lights for 2 hours, and then come back or turn on the lights, and there's gonna be a lot of dead silverfish. So that's my story. And I wanted to tell this for a bit. I'm like, what if someone around here sees it? But people get them in here. I asked, and my resident manager, she said, they come up the pipes and stuff like that. So no shame, right? Thanks for watching my video.